Hey everyone! Today's video is going to be a little bit different. So in this video, we are going to be going over an original effect I believe I put together. Now, if this effect isn't original, or if there's a part in it that isn't original, please let me know down in the comment section either the magician, book, author, source, even video, so I can update the description. So in this video, this plot is going to revolve around a spectator choosing a card, shuffling and cutting the card into the deck, and then being able to cut to their own card. Sort of like how a card shark would go about it. Well, instead, the participant is going to do that. So I'm going to teach you the main sleight you're going to need to know for this effect. I'm going to teach you how you can have this sleight during the entire effect. You'll see what I mean. And then I will teach you some other stuff, like how you can actually use the sleight to accomplish the effect and stuff like that. So, what you're going to need to know for this effect is the palm. So I'm going to teach you the palm. I'm going to show you different ways to do the palm and different palms you can do. And also I'm going to teach you how you can have the palmed card with you the entire effect but look entirely clean if you are sitting down at a table. And then I'll show you how you can load the palm card. So, if you don't know what a palm is, it's real simple. A palm is just a card in your hand like this, but you can see all my fingers are gonna be closed at the front and my thumb is off to the side. If you hold your hand like this naturally, like down to your side, they're not even gonna see the palm card. And make sure you don't flash it. So this is the only move you're gonna need to learn. So if you don't know it, make sure you learn the palm. Another move you could probably do is the cop. This is a little more angle sensitive because the card isn't entirely in your hand, about halfway down, if that. So you could have your hand sort of like this, maybe, and then you could turn it right into a palm. You just need to know the palm. So, how are you going to do the palm? Well, the first thing you should probably do is obtain a break underneath the card. Now, during the effect, you're going to be able to obtain a break really easily, so I'm not going to go over how to obtain a break. But if you would like to learn the pinky count, which is a good alternative in case you forget to obtain the break during the effect, I will link the pinky count in the description. So assuming you have your pinky count, while you're talking and misdirecting, your hands over here, so your middle ring and pinky, are going to come to the top, and this is going to happen all at once. It's going to push the top card, which you have your break under, forward about an inch, give or take, and then it's going to push down. And when it does that, you'll see how it will pop up, and you can actually have it in a palm. Excuse me. So you have your break, you're going to push it forward about an inch, push down, and it pops up. Now, a good way to get it into the cup is having the card on the bottom, catching a break above it, or you could even riffle down. And the same thing counts if the card is on top. You could riffle up, but you're going to have your break. You're going to hold the deck like this, middle ring pinky on the front, thumb at the back, and it's also going to hold this break card from the rest of the deck. You're going to move everything back. And when it's about halfway in your hand for a cup, you can move everything forward and bring this hand away and hand the deck to them. That's another way you could do that. So those are the two sorts of palms you're going to need to know. I would personally recommend this palm, but if you have another way of palming, go ahead. And finally, if you're sitting down, you could palm this card off and then you could put it on your leg. You could put it on the seat in between your legs, and you could come away totally clean. Uh, you could probably put it in your shirt pocket and reach for something. And then when you're ready, you could come back, palm that card out, and go on with the effect. So you could put it between your legs, you could put it in your pocket, you could put it on your leg. It really doesn't matter. The only thing you want at the end, though, is to be ready with that palmed card. So once you have all of that information pretty well, I guess, memorized, or once you know everything, we can start the effect. So the spectator can shuffle the deck, and the spectator pretty much is going to do everything. So feel free to switch up this effect any way you would like, if there's something you don't like, and even add stuff. This is just a rough draft. This is something I just put together. Excuse me. So you're going to have a card selected. Let's say, in this case, the Jack of Hearts, and it can even be signed, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be holding the deck in a mechanic's grip, so my index is on top of the deck, my middle ring and pinky are on the side, thumb is on the other side, and notice how my pinky, how it's even further in. This is going to set up for the pinky break. So you're going to take the card back and you're going to put it right on top of the deck flush. So you can push the card down with your index finger. And not only is it going to be flush, but goes right on that pinky break. So if we put the card on top of the pinky sum and then we push it down, well, now it has the break even more. If you wanted, you could probably do your ring finger break, but you don't want too big of a break. So I think pinky is just good. And notice how just the tip of my pinky is in there. So now you're going to start talking about card sharks once you have this break of how they can have someone choose a card, cut it into the deck, shuffle it into the deck, and they're able to find the card. And during this, make sure you don't flash the break. Make sure the card doesn't fall down, and if it does fall down, make sure it's not doesn't reveal as their card because you don't want them to see the break. And after you explain all this to them, you can ask them, hey, have you ever shuffled and cut to a card? And they will probably say no. And you will say, okay, well, you're going to do that today for me, but you're going to shuffle and cut to your card. How about you take the deck? And while you're saying this, and you want to have the card palm before you say, here, how about you take the deck? So you can be talking and you say, okay, have you ever shuffled and cut to your card before? And in this, they'll say no. And this is when I can go ahead and push the card forward about an inch. I can push down, get a palm. I can come away and say, here, how about you take the deck and you try it? Now, if you're standing up, you could very well put your hands in your pocket, ditching their selection and say, you do everything, I don't want to touch the deck any. You just follow my directions to the best you can. And it's better if you don't give them too many directions, because you want the magic to happen in their hands, like how they would cut and how they would shuffle the deck. But since I don't have a spectator here, here's the basic draft of it. Now, if you're sitting down, you could very well take this card and put it right, on the seat. And now you can come away completely clean, and the card is safe because it's not going anywhere from the seat. So, the first thing I would ask them to do is go ahead and shuffle the deck, but shuffle it how you would. So maybe they would give it an overhand shuffle. They might try a riffle shuffle, but may look something like this. And it wouldn't be a very good riffle shuffle. This is all up to them. So they would take both halves, and usually spectators, slam against the table. And then when they shuffle, they will shuffle about a group of cards there, a group there, sort of like this, and then they would mash them together. But it doesn't matter how they shuffle. And make sure they don't look in the deck for their card either, because they won't see it there. And when you hand the deck to them to start the shuffling and cutting, make sure they don't look at the top card, because their card was on top, and now it's not. But after that, you can say, go ahead and cut the deck, and they might do that. But this is how I would go about it, okay? So once the card is palmed off, I would say go ahead and cut the deck. Now let's say in this case they give it a straight cut. And I say go ahead and shuffle the deck and make 3 piles. So you can do sort of the OC cut by JOC, but it's not really gonna be a false cut, because they're going to cut about a third of the deck down. They can shuffle the rest, cut about half, shuffle the rest, and throw those down. Then I say, okay, it doesn't matter which top card you turn over on 2 piles, the top card is not going to be your card. And the wording is very important here, because you want them to think that one of these top cards isn't going to be mine, so possibly I messed up. And if you can make this better, go ahead. So really the main result here I'm trying to get to is that the pile they don't touch, their card will be on top of it, and you can put it on top in a very easy way. So right about then, after they cut 3 piles, I would probably have the card palmed. And let's say they turn over this card and this card. You want them to leave the 2 cards face up, and you say, okay. Well, for card sharks, and notice how my hand is. It's not like this, it's not like this, and the windows, these are called windows, they aren't open. It's natural, and it's like this. I would say, okay, well, for card sharks, something that will happen is we may not be able to cut to the card, but we may be able to turn a card face up, and that card may be one of 2 things. It may either be your card, or it may be an indicator card to find your card. Now, in order for this to happen, I want you to go ahead and spread the deck like this and look for possibly a card face up. And in the action of doing that, all I did with this remaining pile was I took their card, palmed, I placed it on top of the deck, and I just spread it. So in the action of spreading, that just went ahead and disguised me spreading the deck. But you may have this little mess that happens. One card that's different than the rest of the pile. So how can you get rid of that? Simple. Pick up the pile and say, here, I want you to go ahead and take either one of your piles and just spread it like this for me. And all I did there was I loaded the palm card on top, I riffled them to get all the cards back to the same shape, and then I spread them, and when I get to the top, I just riffled one more time and continued spreading. But really doesn't matter, because the spectator is going to be spreading their halves looking for their card. They spread this half, they spread this half, they say there's no card face up. You say, well, there's one pile you didn't even touch. you shuffled and you cut 3 piles. It could be 2 piles, it could be 4 piles. It really doesn't matter. Just whatever pile they don't touch, that's going to be where you load their card on top. You turn over the top card of 2 piles, which I said neither card was going to be yours. They weren't, but the one pile you didn't touch got right because it just happens to be your card. And that is the effect. So that is a rough draft of this effect. Let me know if this is a good effect. Would it even fly out in public? Let me know if this is original, how you would change this up, what you would get rid of, and if you have something you would change to it, add to it, make a YouTube video and send me the link, and I will go ahead and watch it. So you can leave it in the comment section down below. If you want to privately send it to me, I can send you my Instagram. That's going to be it for me. And in case you're wondering about the cards really quick, these are the Blue Tally-Ho original circle back. That's the video for me. And if you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.